Welcome back to the channel JF Coin, where we uncover hidden fortunes in your pocket change. If you love stories about rare coins, crazy prices, and lost treasure hiding in plain sight, make sure you hit that subscribe button, smash like, and ring that bell so you never miss $1 million find. Host voiceover with B-roll of pennies falling. Today, we're diving into one of the most unexpectedly fascinating coins in U.S. history, the 1980 Lincoln penny, a coin most people throw away, but could be worth hundreds of dollars, even $442 or more in the right condition. Let's unlock the secrets behind this everyday coin that could be a hidden treasure in your drawer. The amazing history of the 1980 Lincoln penny. Host on camera with a timeline graphic. The Lincoln penny, first issued in 1909, was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person, honoring President Abraham Lincoln on the 100th anniversary of his birth. From wheat ears to the Lincoln Memorial on the back, this tiny coin has been a part of American life for more than a century. Host voiceover. In 1980, the U.S. Mint struck billions of these pennies with 95% copper, making them some of the last copper-era cents before a metal change in 1982. And that copper content alone? It means even the most ordinary 1980 pennies are worth more than a penny today. Factory, what does 1980 mean? Host on camera, zooming in on an example coin. So what does that tiny little D below the date mean? It stands for the Denver Mint, one of the U.S. mint facilities that produced coins for circulation. The 1980 penny was mass-produced, over 5 billion were made, which makes most examples very common. Host voiceover. But common doesn't mean worthless. Even though most 1980 pennies are worth only pennies and change, some of them can be worth hundreds of dollars. Chart increasing. How much is a 1980 penny really worth? Host on camera with a grading chart. Let's talk about real values. In circulated condition, that's coins that show wear from use. The 1980 penny is usually worth just a few cents or up to maybe 10 cents. But when we step into uncirculated, mint state coins, that's where the magic happens. Gemstone examples of market values. Generic circulated, 1 cent, 10 cent MS60 uncirculated, around 50 cents, $1.00 MS65 RD, red $4, $10 plus MS67 plus RD, $50 to over $125 and beyond. Now, some highly pristine graded coins, rare survivors that never saw pocket wear, have sold for hundreds, even over $400 or more. That's where we get coin values like $442 or more. Magnifying glass tilt to left, rare varieties and errors to watch for. Host on camera, dramatic zoom. But wait, it gets even better. Some 1980 pennies are even more valuable because of rare errors, mistakes made during the minting process. Here are some examples that collectors go absolutely crazy for. Fire double die obverse, DDO, doubling on the date or lettering, can push values into the hundreds of dollars. Fire off-center strikes, coins struck slightly off, valuable depending on how much off-center. Fire broad strikes, clipped planchets, die cracks, unusual features that catch collectors' eyes. And sometimes these error coins sell at auction way above typical collector pricing. Brains, so should you search your jars? Host smiling. You absolutely should. If you have a stack of old pennies, especially 1980s ones, take a closer look. Not just at the date, but look for brightness, mint state condition, color, the redder, the better, and any weird doubling or imperfections. Host voiceover with footage of people sorting coins. Even if it's just 2 or 3 cents worth of copper metal, that's still 300% more than face value. And with coin collecting continuing to grow, rare high-grade pieces are only becoming more desirable. Pushpin summary. Why this coin matters. White heavy checkmark. It's part of America's longest-running coin series. White heavy checkmark. It's one of the last solid copper pennies. White heavy checkmark. Most coins are common, but many collectors will pay big money for pristine condition. White heavy checkmark. Errors and rarities can fetch hundreds, even thousands in some cases. Rocket your pocket change could hide a treasure. Checker flag OUTRO. Call TO action. Host on camera. If you enjoyed uncovering the secrets behind the 1980 Lincoln penny, let me know in the comments what coins you want us to research next. And if you find one of these in your change, take a photo and tag us. We might feature your discovery. Thumbs up, like, subscribe, hit the bell. Thanks for watching, and remember, every coin has a story, and maybe a fortune behind it. Money bag sparkles if you want. I can also add graphic suggestions, on-screen text cues, and thumbnail text ideas to make this script even more YouTube ready. Artist palette chart increasing. Today we're diving deep into the fascinating world of the 1978 Lincoln penny, a coin you might have in your pocket right now, and it could be a hidden treasure. 1. Introduction. What is the 1978 Lincoln penny? Narrator voice. In 1978, the United States Mint struck billions of Lincoln pennies, so many in fact that every single one of us has probably held one in our lifetime. These coins feature the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, the man whose leadership helped define America. But not all pennies are created equal, especially when it comes to errors or rare varieties. Brain 2. Basic facts about the 1978 penny. Here are some quick stats every coin lover should know. Sparkles face value, 1 cent. That's 1 cent. Round pushpin composition, 95% copper and 5% zinc. Straight ruler weight, about 3.11 grams. Cityscape mint marks, Philadelphia. No mint mark, Denver. D. San Francisco proof. S. Most pennies were common and circulated widely, and for most people, they were simply pocket change. Scroll 3. Ordinary value versus collector value. Narrator. If your 1978 penny has been in circulation, that is, used in everyday change, it's usually not worth more than face value or maybe a couple dollars at most. Even nice uncirculated coins typically range from a few dollars to about $20, $30. But here's the twist. Sparkles 4. Collectible and rare 1978 pennies that are worth much more. Some 1978 pennies are not ordinary at all. These special ones can be worth hundreds of dollars, or even hundreds more. Fire error coins. Coins are machine-made, but sometimes mistakes happen. These errors are exactly what collectors love. Heavy checkmark off-center strikes. The coin was not lined up properly when struck, leaving part of the design missing. These can sell for tens to hundreds of dollars. Heavy checkmark double strikes. The coin got hit twice by the press, creating overlapping designs. These too fetch premium prices. Heavy checkmark clipped planchet errors. Part of the coin blank was missing or miscut. These can bring surprisingly strong returns depending on severity. Heavy checkmark pennies struck on wrong planchets. Now, this is fascinating. A few 1978 pennies were accidentally struck on a dime planchet, a blank intended for a dime, creating a penny with dime metals in size. And these mistakes can be very valuable, often selling from $200 up to $550 or more in the right condition. Gemstone 5. So what about the Ultra Lincoln penny? Worth $4.42. Now we get to the part you really want. Why have some collectors paid hundreds of dollars, like around $442 or more, for a 1978 penny? Backhand index pointing right. In recent sales and auctions, some rare 1978 Lincoln cents with unusual strike errors or flawless mint state quality have commanded high prices, well above what other coins of that year normally sell for. These include Sparkles high-grade uncirculated coins with perfect red copper luster. Sparkles significant off-center strikes. Sparkles rare planchet errors. Sparkles combinations of errors. For example, coins with dramatic off-center or clipped edge strikes graded by professional graders have sold for several $100s. Sometimes close to $400 to $500 depending on how extreme the error is. That's why this penny, despite being just 1 cent, can sometimes be valued by collectors at amounts like $442 or more if it has the right rarity features. Chart increasing 6. Why do collectors pay so much? The psychology of coin collecting. Narrator. Collectors don't just buy coins, they buy history, rarity, and uniqueness. They love stories, and every error coin tells a unique one. Was it a mint machine glitch? A misfeed of planchets? A freak strike? Each coin has its own journey. That's what drives value. Sports Medal 7. Tips for finding a valuable 1978 penny. So, how can you find out if your penny is worth something special? Look for heavy checkmark, a coin that looks off. Not perfectly round heavy checkmark partial designs or missing features heavy checkmark double details on the letters or date heavy checkmark a coin that looks smaller or thinner. Maybe struck on the wrong metal toolbox get it graded. Professional coin grading by companies like PCGS or NGC can boost credibility and value. Coins deemed near perfect get higher prices. Camera with flash photograph and compare. Google Images and online auction sites like Heritage Auctions help you see similar coins and their prices. Classical Building 8. Closing history and legacy of the Lincoln penny. The Lincoln penny was first introduced in 1909 to honor Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday. Since then, it became the longest-running coin design in U.S. history. For decades it was made of copper, including 1978 pennies, and remains a beloved staple of U.S. coinage. Direct hit OUTRO, final thoughts move camera. So what does that mean for you? If you find a 1978 penny that looks unusual, don't throw it away. It might be one of the rare varieties that serious collectors are hunting for, and that could be worth hundreds of dollars. Even though most 1978 pennies are only worth a few cents or a couple of dollars, the ones with unique errors or perfect condition can bring hundreds, sometimes even more than $4.42. Backhand index pointing down. Comment below. Have you ever found a rare penny? What was its story and value? Let me know. Thumbs up, like, and subscribe for more coin treasure hunts. If you want, I can also help you turn this into chapters, visuals, and on-screen text suggestions for your video. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating modern U.S. coins ever made, the 1982 D Ultra Lincoln penny. Yes, that's a 1-cent coin from the USA that collectors are hunting for. By the end of this video, you'll know what makes this coin so special, how to identify a valuable one, and why some of these pennies are now worth around $442, or even way more. So make sure to stick with me till the very end, because you might be sitting on hidden treasure right now. Moneybag INTRO, what is the 1982 D Lincoln penny? Host. First, let's talk history. The Lincoln penny has been a cornerstone of U.S. coinage since 1909, honoring President Abraham Lincoln. Over the decades, these humble pennies have become collectible time capsules of U.S. minting history. But 1982 is one of the most interesting years ever for pennies because, believe it or not, the metal composition of the coin changed mid-year. Before 1982, pennies were mostly 95% copper. But due to rising copper costs, the U.S. Mint switched to copper-plated zinc, 97.5% zinc with a thin copper layer. That's right. In 1 year you have two completely different coins made from different materials. And some rare mistakes that history wasn't supposed to allow. Magnifying glass tilted left. Why 1982 IS so SPCIL host? So what happened in 1982? The Denver Mint, indicated by the D on the penny, was producing pennies during this changeover. That means you have, direct hit, 4 major types from Denver: 1982 D large date copper, 1982 D small date copper, 1982 D large date zinc, 1982 D small date zinc. Only one of these is truly rare, and that's where the magic happens. Trophy the rare gem, 1982 D small date COPPR host. Here's the juicy part. The 1982 D small date penny struck on copper planchets. This was not supposed to happen. During the switch from copper to zinc, a few old copper blanks accidentally passed through the die meant for new pennies with the small date. That made them extremely rare errors. These coins weigh about 3.11 grams, unlike the newer zinc pennies that weigh about 2.50 grams, meaning if you hold one and it feels heavier, you might have hit the jackpot. Collectors have discovered only a handful, and because there are so few confirmed examples, these pennies can easily be worth tens of thousands of dollars in high certified grades. Money bag market value, IT can be $4.42. Or way more, host. Alright, you clicked this video because you want numbers. Let's talk value. The truth is, most 1982 D pennies are common, worth maybe a few cents to a few dollars based on condition. But the rare small date copper variety, that one has been known to sell for $15,000 to $25,000 plus in auctions, depending on condition and certification. So where does $442 come from? Well, backhand index pointing right, many 1982D coins that are in uncirculated condition with a nice strike and good eye appeal, but are not the extremely rare copper era, still command a solid premium on collector markets, often selling for hundreds of dollars rather than just a penny. That means if your 1982D penny is uncirculated, has brilliant color, and good strike, it might very well be worth around $442 or even more in today's market. Pushpin, how to identify if your penny is valuable host. So how can you tell if your penny might be one of those special ones? Brain 1. Look at the date style: small date, thinner, closer, 8 and 2, large date, thicker and more spread apart, straight ruler 2. Weigh the coin: 3.11 g means copper, 2.50 g means zinc, normal but still collectible, magnifying glass tilted left 3. Condition matters: brilliant, clean, mid-state coins sell best. Grading, by PCGS or NGC, can dramatically increase value. Light bulb 4. Errors make big differences: off-center strikes, doubled dies, broad strikes. These can push value even higher. Brain, why collectors love this coin host. Collectors don't just chase value, they chase story. And the 1982D Lincoln penny has one of the wildest stories in modern U.S. coinage. Fire, it reflects a major composition shift in U.S. coinage. Fire, it has multiple varieties issued in just 1 year. Fire, and it includes some of the rarest penny errors ever made by the U.S. Mint. That's a perfect storm for both collectors and treasure hunters alike. Brain, final tips before you geo-host. Before we wrap this up, here are some pro tips. Sparkles: if you find a 1982D penny that feels heavy, get it weighed and checked. Sparkles. Consider having rare candidates graded professionally. It makes a huge difference. Sparkles: even common 1982D pennies can be worth more than face value, especially if uncirculated. Sparkles, and always keep hunting that change. You never know where a treasure might be hiding. Direct hit OUTRO host, smiling. So that's the full story of the 1982D Ultra Lincoln penny, from its historic moment in U.S. minting history to values that can wink at you from your pocket change. If you enjoyed this deep dive, smash that like button, subscribe for more treasure hunter content, and drop a comment below telling us what coins you want us to explore next. Until next time, keep hunting, keep collecting, and never underestimate the value of a penny. Collision: if you want, I can also create B-roll shot lists, thumbnails, text, and video titles optimized for views. Just say the word. Movie camera fire. Today we're diving into a coin that looks tiny, but could be worth a small fortune, not just 1 cent, but possibly hundreds or even thousands of dollars. I'm talking about the 1982 Lincoln penny, the 1 cent piece that has collectors around the world going absolutely crazy. Money bag fire: whether you found one in your change jar, your grandma's old coin pouch, or in rolls you picked up at the bank, this video could change your life. So make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, because you're about to learn how a 1 cent coin could be worth a shocking amount of money. Police car light brain: the story behind the 1982 penny. History plus facts. Let's take a step back in time. The Lincoln penny has been a staple of American currency since 1909, featuring Abraham Lincoln, one of the most iconic presidents in history. But 1982 was a turning point in the story of this humble coin. Here's why 1982 is so special. Small blue diamond: before 1982, pennies were made of nearly solid copper, 95% copper and 5% zinc. Small blue diamond. But in 1982, the U.S. Mint changed the metal composition mid-year to save money, switching to a copper-plated zinc core. This created 2 different types of 1982 pennies: backhand index pointing right copper version, heavier, older style; backhand index pointing right zinc version, lighter, newer style. And that's where things get super interesting. Magnifying glass tilted left. Why collectors love the 1982 PN. Why? Because 1982 had heavy checkmark 2 metals, copper and zinc, heavy checkmark 2 date styles. Small date versus large date. Heavy checkmark multiple mint marks, Philadelphia, Denver, heavy checkmark, and, most importantly, rare era coins altogether. That creates 7 or 8 possible varieties collectors hunt for. But hold on, we're not talking about the regular ones your grandma handed you. No, we're talking about a legendary variety, Gemstone, the rarest and most amazing variety. Here's the real treasure. Backhand index pointing right, the 1982D small date copper penny. This is the holy grail of 1982 cents. It's a coin that was not supposed to exist, struck on the wrong metal during production. It has heavy checkmark, the Denver Mint mark, D heavy checkmark, the small date style heavy checkmark, weighs about 3.11 grams instead of zinc's 2.5 g because it was a production mistake and extremely few were made. These coins are insanely rare, and collectors will pay top dollar for them. Money with wings. What's the current market value? Now here's the million-dollar question. How much can one of these coins actually be worth? Let's break it down. Pushpin, a common 1982 penny, the ones you and everyone else has, worth its face value, 1 cent. Pushpin, a regular 1982 copper penny in great condition, worth a few dollars. Pushpin, a rare variety with rare features, $10 to $100 plus or more. But when we're talking the ultra-rare 1982D small date copper penny, you're looking at 5 figures or more. Verified auction sales have reached well beyond. Backhand index pointing right, $10,000. $18,000 plus backhand index pointing right. Some collectors believe perfect specimens could be worth hundreds of thousands. Yes, that 1 cent coin could potentially be worth tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars in the right condition. Man Detective, how to spot a potentially valuable 1982 penny. Here's what to look for. Magnifying glass tilted right. 1. Check the date style. Small date has thinner, delicate numbers. Large date has bolder, thicker numbers. Magnifying glass tilted right. 2. Look at the weight. Copper coins weigh 3.11 g. Zinc coins weigh 2.5 g. Most common. Magnifying glass tilted right. 3. Check for a D mint mark. If it's Denver and small date and copper, you might have something special. Even experts use scales, magnifiers, and professional grading services to make sure they're genuine. Package. What to do if you find ONE? If you think you found a rare 1982 penny, heavy check mark, don't spend it. Heavy check mark, don't clean it. Cleaning can reduce its value. Heavy check mark, take it to a reputable coin dealer. Heavy check mark, consider getting it graded by PCGS or NGC Brain. Why is this coin so fascinating? It's not just about money, it's about history. The 1982 penny marks a turning point in U.S. coinage, the switch from copper to zinc, and the unintended rarity that resulted from it. This coin tells a story about manufacturing, economics, and how tiny mistakes can become huge treasures. Direct hit CONCLUSION. So next time you're sorting through your pocket change and you pull out a 1982 penny, don't dismiss it. It might look like 1 cent, but it could very well be worth hundreds, or even thousands. Collision Money Bag. If you like this video, smash that like button, subscribe for more treasure hunting content, and comment below if you've ever found a rare coin. Fire. Thanks for watching, and happy hunting. Who knows? You might just have a fortune in your pocket. Sparkles, would you like me to also write hook ideas, title suggestions, or thumbnail text for this video? That can boost your views big time.